Hi guys, I'm HellKitty1000 and today we're playing Cinderella Phenomenon. Just so much yesterday, I can't remember what happened, so please go back and watch the last episode if you haven't, so that you know where we're at. Alright, here we go. Today is the first time that I'm leaving the palace on a day off. Usually I choose to stay inside. Whereas the other servants always leave to go home, I never see any reason to leave, since this has always been my home. And the marching has never been my home. Besides, it is not as if I want to return, not after the conversation we all shared last time. Thus, I have spent most of my days asking questions about Mother's reign, inquiring when and where I can. The opinions do not surprise me. I was so scared of her when wrong moved and she'd have you thrown in prison. The townsfolk would always wait for her to pass by before leaving their houses. She was a tyrant. The kingdom is a better place now that she's gone. There's no reason for them to lie to me. The more I hear, the more my old life makes sense to me. I now know why the king never seemed to love Mother, and why the people hated her, and the reason people looked at me with such fear. However, it's been months since I have been glared at in public. If there is one good thing that this curse did for me, it is that it allows me to travel around town without being noticed. As V's shop comes into view, my thoughts shift to the reason I have left the palace in the first place. If Ride will not tell me anything, I will have to ask V. She must be related in some way to his curse. I pause outside the door to the toy shop. With a deep breath, I push the door open. Welcome! The moment she sees me, her expression becomes confused. Oh, you are the princess's maid, Minnie, wasn't it? I nod at her. You've never come here alone before. What can I help you with? I wanted to ask you something. It is about Prince Rod. Prince Rod? Did something happen to him? Is he okay? He is fine. She sighs with relief. Then what is it you would like to ask? I just wanted to know if you knew anything about Princess Rod's sudden muteness. Bea stares at me for a few moments before she shakes her head. I only know that it happened soon after I met my fiancé, Decimon. Is Decimon the witch? Now that I think back on the story, the witch that cursed. What reason do you have for asking? Well, I try to think of a plausible explanation for this, and I immediately consider M. V is M's best friend. Surely she would be willing to help if she knew I was doing this for M. Prince Rod has been very quiet recently. Princess M has been worried sick about him, but he refuses to say anything, even to her. I have been trying to gather information that might be helpful in discerning the cause. I stare at her expectantly, hoping that my gaze holds nothing but determination. Finally, V smiles. She's lucky to have a dedicated friend like you. I am still not accustomed to the fact that M considers me a friend. Before she became a princess, I was her first confidant. We were like sisters. But now that she's living in the castle, we no longer have the luxury of spending so much time together. I worry about her constantly. around me, Em always tended to keep her problems to herself at first. She doesn't like to bother other people with them. It's hard not to agree. With the way Em was always smiling before, I never thought she had any problems in her life. It was only recently that I discovered that she was hiding all of her loneliness and pain behind that smile. It's a relief that she's befriended someone who cares so much about her. I don't know if I can be much help, but I'll tell you what I know if it will help Em. To start with, I'm not exactly sure how everything changed, but it all happened so suddenly. All I know is that after the night I met Decimon, our relationship changed. At first, he still smiled, but recently, he's been avoiding me. What happened between the two of you the night you met your fiancé? Nothing. Rod and I did not meet on that day. Prince Rod wasn't there. No, but soon after what happened that night, Rod grew distant. What happened? It was a stormy night and I was headed back home. I took the route by the riverbank because it was the shortest route. It was foolish of me. The road was slippery and full of mud. I lost my footing and fell in the water. The waves were strong and I was certain I was going to drown. I don't remember what happened in the darkness of the water, only that when I woke up, my head was in Decimon's lap. That was the first time we met, but not the last. He carried me home and he came by every day as I was recovering. And then he came to visit even after I had recovered. I tried not to get my hopes up too much because what could this nobleman see in me, a mere commoner? But I still ended up falling in love with him. You have no idea how happy I was when he said he loved me too. It was a dream come true. Of course, every girl dreams of marrying a prince. It was in all of the fairy tales I read as a child. None of that was at all related to Rod. How does this relate to his curse? You said your relationship with Prince Rod changed after that night? What happened? He sighs. I told Em and Rod about Decimon soon after the incident. Em was happy that the two of us had fallen in love. But Rod didn't say much of anything. That's when I noticed he started growing distant. And when I realized that he had also lost his voice. He still won't tell me anything, but I figured that he was... Her voice fades, but I know that she is referring to the curse. So Rod lost his voice shortly after we met Decimon. The mermaid's curse must have something to do with the tale. The little mermaid traded her voice for legs so that she could be with her prince. But that night, the only person who found their prince charming was V. Rod's curse must have something to do with Decimon and V. He became distant after her finding out about Decimon. Why? And there's the fact that he still spoke to V. Even if he was distant, it was only when he found out about their wedding that he became so cold. I frown as I try to organize my thoughts. How did it get to be this late? I'm so sorry, Mermaid, but I have to close the shop now. Sorry for the story. I know it was nothing to do with Rod, but it was after the incident that he began to act strangely. I don't think I was much help, but I shake my head. You have told me what you could. He walks me to the door, opening so that both of us can step out onto the street together. I really hope that you are able to help Em and Rod. I hope so too. Did you see Ophelia the other day? catch sight of the two noble women sitting on a bench together, not too far away from the toy shop. They were referring to Ophelia without her title. How disrespectful. Who would have thought a peasant like her could almost look like royalty? But her dress. As the queen, she ought to be wearing silks rather than satin. I do not know why, but I bristle at their comments. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but the fact that they are speaking so bluntly in public means that they have little worry of being overheard. I'm still not sure what the king saw in her. Well, you know what they say about ladies lacking natural beauty. Her talents must lie in other more persuasive areas. She must be very persuasive indeed, if the king saw it worthwhile to marry her. As the two women laugh, I feel something hot begin to burn in my stomach. He takes in a sharp breath beside me. Since I became a maid in the palace, Ophelia has been nothing but kind to me, a mere servant. She has all the right to flaunt her status and title, if she remains humble. I now know that this is why everyone at the palace loves her. Common women like her can only keep a man's attention for so long. I start walking towards them without thinking. Romini, I wouldn't... You have no right to say those things about the queen. The two women are clearly surprised at my interruption. Both of them glare at me. And you have no right to eavesdrop on us. Eavesdropping? Anyone could have heard you. Their mouths fall open. One of the women looks at me for a long time, then sneers suddenly, as if something has occurred to her. I thought you looked familiar. You're the crown princess's personal maid. I see you always following her around when she's in town. This is none of your business, girl. Why do you care so much for our opinions? Perhaps it's because the girl idolizes the queen, thinks she might also go from riches to rags? What? Oh, you do have a point. They stand and advance towards me. Do you want the prince for yourself, girl? If a commoner can become the queen, it's not too difficult to imagine yourself as a princess, is it? How foolish. You're better off dreaming smaller dreams, girl. They laugh, and the irritation in my chest blazes into full-on anger. Is this what Ophelia has been dealing with for the past year? She's been treated so cruelly when she has done nothing but love the king. And I also ridiculed her just like this. I force myself to look at the cruel women as I move my hand to the pendant hanging around my neck. I was just as cruel as them. I barely feel Vi's hand as she rested against my shoulder. Romini, let it go. Her Majesty wouldn't want you to do this. But I cannot just let these two women talk about Ophelia like this. I pull away from Vi and stand firm. The queen has good heart. She is far more noble than either of you could ever hope to be. I think back on the times I was cruel to her. Ophelia could have easily reprimanded me for my behavior. She had that right as my stepmother, yet she has been nothing but kind to me. Ophelia never got angry at me, even despite my treatment toward her and her family. She has always treated others with kindness, even when they are cruel to her. Judging from the bitterness in your accusations, it seems like you are jealous of her. How pathetic. The other woman marches towards me, and my free hand instinctively moves to hold her hand just before the palm reaches my cheek. I will not tolerate any insults towards the queen. A soft light emanates from the pendant, and I can only stare at it in shock. I have another good deed? By defending Ophelia? The woman snatches her hand away. How dare a peasant like you talk that way to us? Have you no manners? I could ask you the same. What happened to yours? How dare you? Don't you know who we are, girl? I will see you pay for your impertinence. Impertinence? Our words have far more weight than yours ever will. I will go to the king myself and tell him just about how rude you were. I can pass on the message myself. I turn and see Rod walking towards us, his expression cold. The two noblewomen hastily courtesy. Your Highness! The noblewomen turn pale as Rod's eyes fall on them. Actually, we have an important dinner engagement. Yes, we do. The two noblewomen courtesy before quickly departing. What are you doing here without your guards? What trouble have you gotten yourself into now? Guess I'll tell him. Those women were insulting the queen. I thought a lecture was in order. Oh, but everyone is entitled to their own opinion. What? I narrow my eyes at him. Something like this can't be helped. Bad rumors are unavoidable. Brad looks away, his expression suddenly pained. This wouldn't have happened if I hadn't wished for it. Brad never finishes the sentence. He clears his throat before looking at us again. What was he going to say? We shouldn't keep you from returning home, Lee. I'll take Romani back to the palace. Lee's eyes narrow, and she looks ready to say something, but Rod has already reached out for my hand to pull me along behind him. Alright, I'm going to leave it here. If you liked it, give it a like, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, bye!